looking at your lights. I just do it out of spite. We gon' fight. We gon' fight. Yeah, we gon' fight. Better bring your A game, cause I'm coming for your life. We gon' fight. Fight, fight, fight. I got fire in my veins, I can do this all night. We gon' fight.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Electrified Reviews. My name is Mitch. This right here is the Pace 500.3 from Aventon. Super stoked to jump into this and show it to you guys. So let's get to the review. This is the Pace 500.3 from Aventon. It's the latest addition to their lineup and features a 500 watt motor, hydraulic brakes, and best of all, it has a torque sensor. It's also one of the most comfortable e-bikes I've ever ridden, based on the upright riding position and handlebar ergonomics. So, does it have any major flaws? Well, you'll have to watch till the end to find out. Oh, and we've teamed up with Aventon and we'll be giving this bike away, so there's that to look forward to as well. The Pace 500.3 has a starting price of $1,699, which puts it smack dab in the middle of the affordable category. Aventon also offers free shipping, a 14-day return policy, and a 1-year warranty. They're arguably one of the bigger names in the direct-to-consumer market in the US, and with this revamped Pace, I think they intend to stay there. For a full list of specs, you can head over to electrifiedreviews.com to see how the Pace 500.3 stacks up against the competition. Now let's talk about the heart of this electric stallion, its motor. The Pace 500.3 sports a 48-volt, 500-watt brushless rear hub motor, giving you the power to conquer hills like a mountain goat on steroids. Now, I probably need to clarify that this isn't for mountains and it's not for goats. This is for people that intend to stay on bike paths and things like that. This bad boy ships as a Class 2 e-bike, but it is configurable as a Class 3, allowing you to reach speeds up to 28 miles per hour with pedal assist. It features a responsive torque sensor and a handy-dandy thumb throttle on the handlebars. You also have access to the full gamut of power at any assist level, which is a plus for us. The Pace 500.3 has a removable battery that is a 48-volt, 12.8 amp-hours, 614 watt-hour battery. It utilizes LG cells, ensuring your e-bike's got some serious juice that will last for many charges. The 48-volt 3-amp fast charger will have you back on the road in 4 to 5 hours, just enough time for a leisurely lunch and a cat nap. Another cool feature of this fast charger is the Aventon logo is actually the charge indicator light, so when the Aventon symbol turns green, you're good to go. With an estimated range of 25 to 48 miles, you'll be exploring far and wide before even needing a recharge. The Pace's frame is a very accessible step-through. With a standover height of just under 17 inches, this frame is going to be an option for a whole plethora of people. You know, I think we need to use that word more. Plethora. Just rolls off the tongue. The reach is only 14 inches or less, so again, it's suitable for, well, you know. The bike weighs in at 52 pounds, which for an e-bike feels extremely light. Now, to be fair, we've been reviewing some heavier, fat tire bikes recently, so in comparison to those, this thing felt much more in line with a regular bike in that regard. It has attachment points for front and rear fenders, and a rear rack if you're looking to haul some stuff around. You can get all of those online at Aventon.com. The bike has a total weight capacity of 300 pounds, so if you did end up snagging a rear rack, you'd be able to haul quite a few things. So how does it feel to ride this thing around? A lot more comfortable than you might expect for an e-bike without traditional suspension. Up in the front, we have a rigid fork that surprisingly dampens a lot of the road vibrations. And I'm only saying that I was surprised because I was expecting a much stiffer ride feel, and I didn't get that at all. The saddle we have here does have some springs in the rear, which adds a bit of cushion to your cushion. The saddle design was sleek, created a good attack angle for the pedals, leading to an overall very satisfactory riding experience. Aventon also offers a seat post suspension option, which would definitely improve the suspension here, but as I mentioned, it was a great smooth experience right out of the box. The Innova tires measure 27.5 by 2.2 inches and are lined with some very useful sidewall reflective stripes, which makes them excellent for nighttime riding. The light is also mounted up on the handlebars, which is another safety feature, but we'll talk about that when we get to the extras later on in the video. The Pace 500.3 comes equipped with hydraulic brakes, which, for an e-bike that is capable of Class 3 speeds, is definitely a must-have. I probably would have done a few more skids and slid around the grass a bit more, but remember, we're giving this model away, so I had to take it easy since I assume the winner's going to watch this video. We've got 180mm rotors on the front and rear, and the brakes stop the bike well on either grass or cement, so I don't have any complaints about them. The Pace 500.3 comes with 8 speeds and utilizes a Shimano Altus derailleur to shift through those gears. Now, you'll hear me say this on the ride test, but it's worth noting here that the combination of the torque sensor and the geometry make this one of the most comfortable, relaxed city e-bikes I've personally ridden. Now, to be fair, I'm usually scooting around in a fat tire monster, some hybrid light off-road e-bike, so maybe I've just been missing out on all of the cool city bikes out there. Either way, it was a blast to ride. The gearing was perfectly matched, so we don't get any ghost pedaling at higher speeds. Now, I only test rode it at Class 2, so speeds of about 20 miles per hour, but even then, it would seem that the top speeds of 28 miles per hour would have been a good fit in the gearing department. When it comes to extras, there are lots of cool features that pop out. There are some missing essentials if you wanted to utilize this as a commuter, such as the fenders or rear rack, but both of those can be picked up from Aventon upon checkout. There's also app integration, which is really awesome. Now, we probably have to dive into that in a future episode, as there is tons to cover there, but just know it's pretty cool. We do get an integrated front light that is mounted high up on the handlebars, which is a safer and more efficient spot when compared to a front fork-mounted light. We've got twin integrated taillights located on either side of the seat stay with brake signaling, and we also got turn signals, which is a pretty sweet feature for cruising in an urban environment. Let's pop into the cockpit and see what we're working with here. We've got these slight swept-back cruiser bars that make the riding experience so comfortable. We've got locking grips, which is fantastic, and they are a modified ergonomic type of grip. They have just enough padding space to feel like I've got a solid grip, but not too much to make them feel flat like other ergonomic grips. The LCD display here is bright enough to use on a hot Texas day, and it shows you pretty much everything you'd want a display to show, plus some cool stuff about displaced CO2 and saving trees. Now, I think it would be a cooler app-only stat because I wouldn't need to know this during my ride, but it is a cool feature to be able to track your impact on this bluish-greenish rock that we call home. So who is this bike for? The Pace 500.3 is for anyone that is looking to get an approachable, comfortable city bike that could be used for cruising around your neighborhood and flying down bike paths, or someone who's looking for a comfortable commuter to get to and from work. As I mentioned, you need to add the rack and fenders to it, but if you do, I can guarantee you that commuting may end up being your favorite part of the workday. It can handle some crushed stone pathways easily and even ride across coarser stone pathways pretty well, but I don't see this being something you take off-road regularly. So if you're looking to do some exploring deep in the woods, this might not be for you, but if you are planning to stick to city streets and bike paths, the Pace 500.3 is definitely worth a test ride. Speaking of test riding, let's do just that. Now, as I mentioned, I tested the Pace 500.3 in Class 2 mode, so I only hit speeds of 20 miles per hour, but it can be easily modified in the menu to reach speeds of 28 miles per hour. So let's head outside for the ride test.
Hey everybody, Mitch from Electrified Reviews here again to let you know that we have partnered up with Aventon and we're going to be giving away this Pace 500.3 to one lucky person, absolutely free. We're covering shipping, we're covering getting everything over to you. You're going to get the full manufacturer's warranty, and all you got to do to enter is head over to electrifiedreviews.com, sign up for a free account, and add the Aventon Pace 500.3 to your wish list. We'll be announcing the winners 7 days from the release of this video, and like I said, all you gotta do is head over to electrifiedreviews.com, add this to your wish list, and you could be that lucky winner. Good luck, everybody. We'll see you over there on the site. All right, guys, we are out here for the ride test on the Pace 500.3, and before we get into it, I just want to say this is one of the more upright, comfortable bikes I've ever ridden. Nobody's paying me to say that. That's my own opinion right there. Let's go ahead and take off. I got it in turbo mode, using this throttle over here on the left-hand side. And let's just do some cruising. So the throttle is going to take us up to 20 miles per hour. And pedal assist is also going to take us to 20 miles per hour. You guys know the deal. Now, something that's pretty interesting is if you'll notice my cadence is about the same, right? And then let me push a little bit harder here. And we're gonna get a ton more from the motor. That's because, as we probably already mentioned in the review, this bad boy has a torque sensor in it. Now, if you haven't ridden an e-bike with a torque sensor, it is sort of the next level. Like, do you have to have a torque sensor? No. Is it nice? Absolutely. Every bike that I've ridden that has a torque sensor on it, it just makes you feel a little bit more connected to the ride, right? I feel like I've got a little bit more control as I input some stuff. Some work here, I'm gonna get more out of the motor, and that's pretty awesome. And yeah, I don't know what else to convey except for this is super comfortable. Very upright, very approachable. Got some nice sweep back to the handlebars here. Very low step over height as well. And so this just strikes me as a bike that would be good for pretty much anyone. Now, if you want to do some off-roading stuff, there is no front suspension. You know, the seat has a little bit of spring to it, but it's not something you want to take on trails. We got the smaller tires. Now, if this thing had, 3-inch tires on it, 2.75, something like that, maybe we'd like take it on some some different trails. But if you have a trail like this bike path we're on here, or some sort of harder compact gravel, all of those things would be great for this bike. And again, got that torque sensor. So from a maneuverability standpoint, it is very nimble. In fact, I really feel like I can carve on this thing. So you got a lot of control, but at the same time, it also feels very stable. How stable does it feel? Let's find out. Oh yeah, look at that. No hands, Ma. So super stable, very easy to control, and just comfortable. People ask me, if I can only say one word about this bike, that would be what it is. And as far as the motor noise goes, when it's in sustaining like this, like we're going 20 miles per hour, it's pretty quiet. As you kind of like put on some stuff and you get some torque in there, it does start to, you can hear a little bit more. But as I'm riding like this, I really can't hear it. So from that standpoint, I think Aventon did a great job on giving us a motor here that is fairly quiet. Now it does come with hydraulic brakes, which is excellent. As a lot of these bikes are coming out, we're seeing more and more people go to hydraulic brakes as the default. And that's good. There's a lot of safety and regulatory stuff kind of coming down the pipeline, for those of you who don't know. And hydraulic brakes is going to be something you're seeing on every e-bike here in the near future. Now you do hear the brakes a little bit, and that's because these are brand spanking new. That's probably something you'd see for the first couple of miles. But if you want to get that process moving a little bit quicker, you can always bed your brakes. Lots of good links out there on how to do that, kind of get rid of that extra layer, the squeaky layer on the brake pads. So the brake functions well. The overall ride feel is just ridiculously smooth. And yeah, my back is perfectly straight. I'm sitting straight up and down. So if you're somebody who has, lower back problems, or, reach is an issue, the reach here is very reasonable for pretty much anybody to be able to get up here and have a good, safe, comfortable ride. And this step through is super low, as I'm sure you've already seen in the first half of the review here. Now, another thing that I like is when you let go of the throttle. So see, I'm pedaling and let go of the throttle. There's no gap in between the throttle and the pedal assist. Sometimes there'll be a little bit of a delay there, and that's not really a huge deal breaker, but it is nice to know that as soon as I'm doing one or the other, I'm getting power. So if you need to get yourself out of a sticky situation, you can do that. Now, you're gonna hop up here on this trail going that way, so I can show you how this thing handles on more of a crushed granite type of bike path. But as you guys know, we are doing a giveaway on this bike, so we're not going to be taking this thing through the mud. If you're the person that won this bike, I want you to know I was taking good care of her the whole time. We didn't do anything crazy. Just rode her around how anybody would ride him around. And yeah, this handles really well. And this is fairly smooth. Every once in a while there'll be some like bigger rocks. But the way this thing is configured, I feel like it could handle something maybe even a little bit more coarse than this, but this is nice. And we're just cruising. Go ahead and hit the curb here. Yeah, there's no suspension here, but it works. Something else we probably mentioned are these grips. They do have a lockable portion up here closer to the headset, which is nice. Sometimes we see grips that don't have that, and you get a little bit of slippage or something like that, but these ones are firm, they're comfortable, they've got a little bit of an ergonomic form to them. Nothing crazy that sticks out, 2 inches. It's just enough for it to feel very comfortable in the palms. Now this is a little bit bigger rock. You can tell, so this is kind of like, this type of stuff. And so let's test it out on that. Still handling itself really well. Definitely can feel a little bit more of the bumps here, but I still feel like I'm in control. So if you had to go across like something like this, I'd be pretty confident saying that it can handle it. Do a little off-roading here. I could sit like this all day long. I feel like I've got a really good riding posture. So the way the saddle sits and how I'm pedaling is pretty much exactly how you'd want to have it set up. I can still, reach off and put my feet on the ground. All in all, it feels to me like it was a very well-designed e-bike. For the use cases, it's pretty much stuff like this. You're gonna be, toting around, maybe on the seawall or on the bike paths. So we're going straight into the wind here. And it is accelerating at the same speed that it was when we didn't have any wind. Now, there are not a whole lot of good hills for us to test this on. A lot of the hills that we have, and I'll use air quotes for that, are a little bit, there's grass and there's, ruts and all that sort of stuff, if you're really gonna test it on a hill. But I do imagine that if you did have some sort of incline that, you just shift this thing down a little bit, and with that torque sensor, it would be able to just get you right up the hill. So those are unwarranted claims by me. Put an asterisk across the screen. Well, guys, I think that is going to do it for our ride test. If you guys have any questions, please let us know in the comments. We love talking to you guys, and we'll catch you on the next one.
So what did we learn today? We've learned that I could ride this bike for hours and continue talking about how I could ride this bike for hours. But in all seriousness, the Pace 500.3 is a well-built e-bike from a reputable company. And with Aventon's warranty and a price tag of $16.99, this is set to be a stellar e-bike in the affordable or city categories. Thanks for sticking around, and for the 3 of you that watched till we roll the credits, make sure to head over to electrifiedreviews.com, sign up for your free account, and use our advanced search features or Slick Compare tool, and sign up to receive exclusive offers from some of the brands that we work with. Thanks again, and we'll catch ya on the next one.